Hey, what's up, Andy's leaders and all listeners? This is Travis, and I am so thankful you are here today. Welcome back to the Custard Campus Podcast, the show where leadership, growth, and our world famous frozen custard, they come together. Today, I want to welcome all of you to life and its many opportunities. Now think through this. Every opportunity comes with a possibility we do not always like to talk about. Rejection. You ask for a date, and the answer is no. You apply for a job, and someone else gets it. You reach for that new position, and you hear, not at this time. You offer an idea, and it does not move forward. Rejection is a part of life, and it's also a part of leadership. The question is not whether it will happen. The question is what we will allow it to mean. Rejection is an event. It is not an identity. Today, we're going to tackle it in 3 steps. First, feel it without becoming it. Second, learn from it without overreacting. And third, take the next step. All right, quick brag a little bit here. Before we get into it, this weekend, I got my first $3,000 plus an hour dip. We were using 2 dip wells, but still, that was a lot for me. 2 hours in a row. I love seeing all these guests on our patios and our drives and just being a part of it. More than that, it is awesome to be a part of an amazing team that can make this type of hour happen. I appreciate the people I work with on the weekends, and I appreciate them trusting me with that position. And yes, that dipper callus is coming back. I'm kind of soaking that finger this week. That moment reminded me of something, though. The result, it feels good. But the people around you matter even more. When life hits hard, the right people help you remember who you are before you are ready to remember it yourself. All right, today's sponsor, it's Custard Campus, the place where not yet can turn into now I'm ready. If rejection points to a gap, Campus gives you a place to attack it. Build the skill, ask the question, watch the video, talk with the leader, then take another shot. Thank you, Custard Campus, for your support. Back to the podcast. Why this one is personal. Okay, you know me, we're growing together. We have learned that being open, transparent, and real builds trust. This story is a lot for me, but opening up about it is helping me move forward. And I know that can be true for a lot of other people too. So almost a year ago, I exited my prior job. For me, that was huge. It felt like one of the biggest rejections of my life because my work has always been a big part of me. This hit me hard. I did not understand why it happened. And when you do not have answers, your mind has a way of creating its own. I replayed conversations. I questioned decisions. I wondered what I had missed and what I could have done differently. Felt lost because so much of my identity was tied to my work. I had invested a lot of time, energy, and care into that place. I believed in what we were building. I also believed some of the relationships I had built were stronger than a job title. When the job ended, some of those relationships changed too. Honestly, that may have hurt as much as anything. I'm not telling this story to take a shot at anyone or reopen old wounds. I'm telling it because rejection can make even a strong person question everything they thought they knew about themselves. This could have gone in a really bad direction. I understand how people get stuck there. You isolate yourself. You replay the rejection. You start believing that one decision made by someone else is proof that you were never good enough. Fortunately, I had great people around me. They listened when I needed to talk. They challenged me when I started telling myself the wrong story. They reminded me that losing a position did not mean I had lost my ability to lead, serve, or make a difference. Then I made a plan. It was not perfect or complicated. I was going to stay connected, keep moving, and do the next useful thing. I started having conversations. I looked honestly at what I could learn. I thought about where my strengths could create the most value. Then I got to work. I did not wait until I felt completely confident. I did not wait until every question had been answered. I moved forward while some of it still hurt. Little by little, the rejection stopped feeling like my identity and started becoming something that happened to me. It was an important chapter. It very much is, but did not get to write my ending. And looking back on it now, I can see that what felt like the closing of everything was really the beginning of something that fit me much better. All right, a year later, I'm 27 episodes into this podcast, and I promise to all of you, I do more than just this podcast. Making dreams come true through leadership and amazing frozen custard, that's where it's at. Loving it. And there is much more to this story. But the big lesson is this. Rejection opened more in my life than it closed. It hurt, but it was worth it. So here we go. Step 1. Feel it without becoming it. Rejection hurts because something mattered. You cared about the person. You wanted the job. You believed in the idea. You saw a future. And for a moment, the future disappeared. Do not pretend that does not hurt. Resilient leaders are not emotionless. They are honest about what they feel without turning that feeling into a definition of who they are. There is a difference between I was rejected and I am a reject. One describes something that happened. The other attacks your identity. That second sentence is where disappointment becomes dangerous. And I only say that because a 2023 study I was looking at asked 90 college athletes to recall a failure. The athletes with greater self-compassion recovered better from the negative emotions that followed. Self-compassion did not magically make the failure feel good, but it did help them recover from what felt bad. That matters for us leaders. Being kind to yourself is not making excuses. It is not avoiding accountability, but it is giving you enough room to see clearly and get back into the game. So pause before you write the story. Name what happened. Name what you're feeling. Then remind yourself that you do not have to decide what this moment says about your entire future. Step 2, learn from it without overreacting. Once the emotion settles, rejection can become information. But we have to ask better questions. Was the timing wrong? Was the expectation unclear? Is there a skill gap I can close? Or was the decision simply outside of my control? Do not ask all 4 questions as a way to punish yourself. Ask them to find the part you can use. Now, let's look at it from the other side. How does it look if you are the one providing the no or the rejection? Take ownership of your part without taking ownership of everything. That's some great advice that was given to me, all right? It's a part that we have to do, but I don't own everything about it. Research that followed more than 9,000 internal rejection experiences at a Fortune 100 company found that rejected internal applicants were nearly twice as likely to leave as employees who were selected or had not applied. But candidates who had interviewed with the hiring manager before being rejected were half as likely to exit as those rejected earlier. I asked myself, why is this? Well, it's the conversation that gave them something more than silence could. evidence that they were seriously considered, feedback about possible gaps, and a clearer view of what could happen next. That is a leadership lesson, right? If you have to tell someone no, do not make them guess what that no means. Protect the dignity. Give useful clarity. If it truly means not yet, help them see the path from here to there. There's another rejection leaders feel deeply. Someone quits. Have you felt it? That deep gut punch? Oh, I've been there so many times, and that's just a weird feeling in your gut. Those you just don't see coming, or even the ones that you do, they just hurt. We can take it personally because we invested in them. We counted on them. Sometimes we believed the relationship was stronger than their decision makes it feel. I can remember having someone leave the company who I invested a lot in. I believed in this person. I'd given them opportunities, spent time developing them, and pictured them being a part of the team's future. As most of you know, I'm a planner. And when you enter my 10-year plan, that's a real deal. When they told me they were leaving, my first emotion was not curiosity, it was hurt. If I am completely honest, it felt personal. Part of me thought, after everything we've done together, you're leaving? It felt like they were not only rejecting the company, it felt like they were rejecting me, my leadership, and everything I had tried to build with them. That is not necessarily what they are saying. It wasn't. But it was the story I immediately told myself. Once the emotion settled, I had to look back at the situation more honestly. I had to ask whether I had missed any signs. Had I checked in enough? Did they see a future here? Did I understand what they wanted from their work? Were there frustrations they had tried to communicate that I did not fully hear? Here are things that I could own. Maybe I had made assumptions because everything seemed fine. Ooh, complacency, right? Maybe I had focused so much on developing their performance that I did not spend enough time understanding their goals. Maybe I could have communicated opportunities more clearly. Owning those things helped me grow. It gave me lessons I could use with the next person. But I also had to release some things. I had to release the idea that good leadership means nobody ever leaves. People move. Their needs change. They receive different opportunities. Sometimes they make decisions that are best for their lives, even when those decisions are disappointing for us. I also had to release the belief that their departure was a final verdict on my leadership. I could learn from their decision without allowing it to define me. That experience taught me to care deeply about people without trying to control their choices. My responsibility was to lead them while they were with me. Okay. I could create opportunities, communicate honestly, and make sure that they knew they were valued, but I could not make their decisions for them. Someone leaving can still hurt. It should hurt a little when you genuinely care. But their departure does not erase the work you do together. It does not erase the impact you had on them or the impact they had on you. Sometimes leadership means appreciating the chapter, learning from the ending, continuing to build the team in front of you. All right, moving into step 3, take the next step. At some point, reflection has to become movement, right? We talk about action all the time in most of these. We got to take action. Resilient leaders do not pretend rejection never hurts. They recover, adjust, and keep moving. Growing up, I learned to ask myself a simple question before making an ask. What is the worst they can say? No. That question gave me a great mindset. The no might disappoint me, but it would not destroy me. If I had never asked, I had already given myself the no. So asking someone out, what's the worst they could say? No. My wife might have told me no a few times. That didn't stop me from finding new ways to ask. I wanted to be a cart pusher at Walmart as one of my first jobs. They said no. No worries. I started my work in hospitality. I didn't get a job promotion. Nice. It eventually led to a better opportunity with a way better career path. Thankful for that no. Sometimes no means not yet. Sometimes it means not here. Sometimes it means not this way. Our job is to learn which one and then decide what the next step should be. One of the best examples comes from the hospitality world, right? I love to talk about this. In 2008, Airbnb founders approached 7 investors while they were trying to raise $150,000. 5 said no, 2 never replied. Man, those answers did not define that idea forever. The founders kept working until, well, the world could see what they saw. That's pretty cool. No is information. It's not always an instruction to stop. Make the next step small and real. Ask for specific feedback. Practice the skill that was missing. Call someone who will tell you the truth. Hey, then make the next ask. You do not need to have the whole comeback plan today. You only need the next move. All right, we're going to bring it in to the 3 C's. Custard. If the treat is rejected because it does not meet the standard, remake it. Do not make it personal. Learn what happened and protect the product. Crew. If someone turns down an opportunity or leaves the team, listen. Learn what belongs to you, then keep developing the people who are still with you. Customer. If the guest says no to your first solution, stay present. Ask what would make the situation right. The first answer is not always the final answer. So cheat codes to this episode. 1, feel the disappointment. It's there. Dive into it, but do not attach it to your identity. 2, separate the facts from the story you are telling yourself. 3, ask what the rejection can teach you and what was never yours to control. There's a lot of it out there. It's not in your control. 4, remember that no can mean not yet. If it does, build a skill, try again. 5, take the next step. Rejection only gets to park you if you hand it the keys. Not going to happen. Welcome to life and all of its opportunities. If you are willing to hear no, you give yourself more chances to reach yes. If you are willing to learn, rejection can sharpen you. If you are willing to keep moving, a closed door can point you toward a better one. It has me. You may have been rejected. Your idea may have been rejected. Your application may have been rejected. Your future, it's not been rejected. I'm very excited for you. Dreams are going to come true. Rejected is something that happened. It's not who we are. All right. My goal is that you learn something today and that you can use to get closer to making your dreams come true. I'm here to serve everyone, not to change anything, just support great leadership and decision making. Keep engaging. Share the content. Hey, that's it for today. If you need anything, you know where to reach me. Email me at travis@eatandys.com. Here we go. Leadership is portion control for chaos. The right amount at the right time, every time. Go win the day.